Happy 60th birthday, Dad. I'm so happy to celebrate this milestone with you.
Hi, Dad. Happy 60th birthday. My goodness, where has the time gone?
Sam and I thought it'd be a great idea to go back all the way to our earliest memories, all the way back to current day, and just kind of relive some of our favorite memories with you.
So sit back, relax, and join us for 60 Memories with Dad. You ready? Here we go. All right, I'm gonna kick things off with my first earliest memory, and that is at Lake Mead Christian Academy, where you were recording us during our shows in the multipurpose room.
One of my earliest memories as a kid is going to Disneyland, and I remember Sam just wanted to go ride all the rides, so I think Mom went with him, but I remember you waiting back with me, Dad, because all I wanted to do was get the autographs signed in my book from the characters. So thank you for being patient and waiting for me to see Donald Duck and all the princesses. I really appreciate it. It made my trip special to Disneyland as a kid.
Practicing Taekwondo in the living room. I would do my forms and you would give me feedback, so I was ready for those competitions, and that's how I became a black belt. Your Treasure Island mechanical engineer days. You'd bring Sophie and I to the office so we could experience some of the cool perks you got, including the shows, and I would always brag to my friends that we got to go and they didn't.
My favorite perk was us being able to go to all the fancy restaurants and any of the properties that we wanted. My personal favorite being craft steak, and those mashed potatoes were the best I've ever had. One of my earliest memories, Dad, is you always bringing me a surprise treat. From not being able to see you for a week when I was at Mom's, you would always bring me a treat to school, whether it was Nutter Butters or Chips Ahoy cookies. So thank you for making those little moments special when we got to see you again. I always remember those times.
Playing Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid and having you watch me build all of my wildest creations. It was really cool to have you cheering me on and spark my creativity. This carried on throughout almost everything I did, and it started with Roller Coaster Tycoon.
When we were growing up, you were working a lot. You would pick us up from school, didn't have a lot of time to cook, so we remember going to Vaughn's a lot right down the street, and we'd get Panda Express or Jamba Juice. You know, my order was the strawberries wild at Jamba Juice, and at Panda Express, my double orange chicken and fried rice.
And I was just happy to be along for the ride, getting an extra smoothie and some orange chicken. Lightsaber fights in the living room, and don't worry, I can still take you down if you want a rematch.
All the trips to Build-A-Bear Workshop. I was obsessed with Build-A-Bear from the age of 5 to 11. I don't know how much money you spent, Dad, but I know it was a lot. So thank you for being a trooper and going to the Galleria Wall with me so I could make and create my own little furry friends.
The first time I can remember you letting me host all of my friends in 3rd grade for a sleepover at your house. You built these tents and these air mattresses so we could have fun and really get that sleepover experience.
And our epic trip to Hawaii. We had so much fun on the beach, playing all day in the water, but I remember you making us try poi, and I hated it.
And I remember us taking that tour with William, the bus driver. He took us to all of his favorite local spots, and I am still laughing at that creme brulee joke he made. What was it again? Maybe just a little bit. Yeah. Speaking of fun family trips, do you remember the times you would take us to Disneyland and Universal Studios in California? I always got really scared the closer we got to getting on the ride. But you know who wasn't scared? Sophie, when she was shoplifting those Land Before Time animals from the gift shop. You remember that?
I don't remember that, but I do remember the ride where you go through the timeline and there's different movies and things, and there's a dinosaur in one of them. I don't remember what the ride was, and Sam was terrified and he was crying and I was laughing. That's what I remember. Our epic trip to Disney World. So a lot of good memories here, but I just remember you specifically going on the Tower of Terror with us and then eating the turkey, or maybe it was eating the turkey leg first and then going on the Tower of Terror, and that didn't end very well for you, but Sam and I were having a great time.
And after that amazing trip, we got to see you in action. We went to Fort Lauderdale and you provided an executive presentation to some important business stakeholders, and I couldn't have been more proud. I knew right then our dad was not just a family man, he was a businessman too.
Our trip to Disney World, I remember us staying at the hotel in the Animal Kingdom, and one of my favorite memories was waking up with you and opening our balcony door, and we got to see all of the giraffes and the zebras and the antelope. You know I love animals, so that was really special getting to share those memories with you.
Being surprised with Jumanji at Christmas after knowing this game was nowhere to be found, off the market, you really had me fooled with Santa that year, Dad.
Swimming with the dolphins at the Mirage. This is one of my favorite memories as a kid, swimming with Pablo and Squirt. You know I love animals, Dad, so thank you for giving us the VIP experience and allowing us to swim with the dolphins. Growing up, all of the late nights, going to all your friends' parties, whether it was with the Mosa and Marta Carmen crew, I just remember us getting to hang out and dance and meet all those people, or us getting kicked to the kids' room to play while you guys did your thing.
I loved those parties. That's when I figured out how to do my first initial salsa moves, and I made tons of memories with the other kids. I just remember being the most connected with all of your family friends, and they were kind of our extended family at the time, so I have a lot of treasured memories with those peeps.
At Bob Miller Middle School, Dad, you made a huge flag, and I just remember me and my teammates getting to run out with it during warm-ups and wave it around. It was so special. Everyone still remembers it to this day, including the principal, so thank you for making that time so special.
Speaking of Santa, one of my favorite memories is when I found out about Santa Claus and you got me to help you leave the Santa trails for Sophie until she figured it out for herself. When you were our coach on our childhood soccer teams, whether it had been the Orange Dragons, the Blue Dragons, the Red Flames, I can't remember all the team names, but we had some really good times and some even better records. One season, we were undefeated.
My favorite memories from those times was just riding in the back of Alejandro to the games. We didn't have seatbelts. We'd be on our knees, and me, Aaron, and Sam would see who would fall first. And most importantly, little Aaron made the Tic Tac song. My 12th birthday party celebrated at the Excalibur Arcade. I don't know if you remember this, Dad, but it's one of my favorite memories as a kid with Lexi. You gave us $100 in tokens, and we thought we were rich. We're like, oh, we're gonna have so much fun here. And we got stuck at the one claw machine, and we were trying to fish out the king-size Three Musketeers candy bar. And I remember you being kind of upset that we spent $100 just to get 2 king-size candy bars, but it was one of my favorite memories I made with Lexi as a kid.
Learning how to drive Alejandro. Dad, no power steering, stick shift, and manual windows. Let me just say that was intimidating, but with you by my side, I got through it, and that car gave me the best first 2 years of driving I could have asked for.
The Vegas Elite Brawl. I'm sure you remember this, Dad. We were at the Meadows YMCA, and one of my basketball teammates and a grown man got in an altercation, and a huge fight broke out, and you saw all of us just go into the fight. And I just remember I'm in there swinging, and I feel someone pull me from behind, and it's you, and you got me out of the fight. Yeah, one of the craziest memories I remember from those basketball days.
All the childhood memories in the backyard with that above-ground pool. Dad, our backyard was not built for a pool, but you said, my kids are gonna get a pool. It's Las Vegas, they deserve to swim. So I just remember having tons of great times with my friends, you and Sophie, playing Marco Polo in the pool. What could have gone wrong?
Do you remember that time where me and Sam were running around and the pool cleaner was out, and somehow, some way, my knee ended up right on it, and my knee opened up like this? We had to take a trip to St. Rose Hospital, but Dad, I do remember you just being there. You brought the towels from inside really quickly. We covered the blood, and you were there for me that day at the hospital when I was scared. So thanks for always being a great dad, even in times of catastrophe.
In high school, you had to crack down on my missing assignments. And while this might not sound like a fun memory, it ended up being one of the memories that shaped how I would work for the rest of my life in college and now in my career. So thanks for cracking down, Dad. No more missing assignments, and it's only up from here.
Junior year playoffs in Coronado, we were playing Foothill. We were, win or go home, and it was the best game of my high school career. I had 33 points, I had 5 3-pointers. I couldn't miss, but I remember the game not ending the way we wanted. They hit a 3 at the buzzer, and so I remember you coming up to me at the end of the game and saying, I know your team didn't get the win tonight, but your heart and your will tonight showed that you'll be a winner in life. So thank you, Dad, for being there with me through the victories and through the losses, but also teaching me the important life lessons along the way.
When you came to the district's finals in our senior year and saw Ashley and I qualify for nationals for the first time in duo interpretation, this was one of my most fond memories because we worked so hard for multiple years to get to that place, and you were there for the big moment, watching us qualify in front of all of our teams and making everyone proud, including you.
You going with me on all of our college visits. So I remember us going to California and visiting 4 different schools, seeing all the gyms, the facilities, and I remember just us driving and talking about, the pros and cons of each school. So thank you, Dad. I do believe I chose the right school at the end of the day. So thank you for being there with me and helping me choose that next chapter of my life.
Coming out to you in the car when I finally mustered up the courage before going to college. This is one of the toughest conversations I thought I could ever have in my life, but to my surprise, you made it easier than expected, and I really appreciate that to this day. So thanks for embracing me. I love you, Dad.
The Cal-Lou Regal Dad days. I cannot thank you, Dad, enough for being there, driving all the way from Vegas or flying to California every single week to watch my games from my freshman to my senior year. There's so many different memories, but you creating that flag again back from the middle school days and bringing it back is some of my favorite memories. My teammates still talk about it to this day. So thank you for always being my #1 fan and being front row in the stands.
Winning the step competition my senior year in college and having you in the crowd with that air horn, even though they specifically told everyone not to bring an air horn because it would cause a disturbance. But Dad, I can't thank you enough for bringing the air horn because you really drove home how much better we were than everybody else.
All the times you took us to the Adventure Dome. I have so many memories being at the Adventure Dome, from those long sugar sticks all the way to riding the inverter till I got sick. But I do remember the first time you allowed me to bring Lexi to the Adventure Dome.
And building off that, you actually invited Ashley to attend my birthday party and somehow paid for all of these kids. That was amazing. I was the coolest kid on the block having my birthday party at Adventure Dome, and now I have my best friend of 20 years coming out of that party.
All of those times, Dad, we get to spend at Cal-Lou, but not just watching the games, you being there with me in my dorm or going out to eat around the town. But another memory I have is you actually going out to the bars with me, with my friends after we would win a game. Just all those times we got to spend together, you taking the time to leave Vegas and be there with me at school to make me feel at home. I really appreciate it and cherish those memories.
Moving back to Vegas with Sawyer in the backseat of the Denali as we hauled all of my stuff from Reno back down to Vegas. This is one of my favorite trips and memories with you because of how we bonded on that 9-10 hour car ride and how you got me ready for the rest of my life. So while I do miss living with you and Sawyer, and he definitely misses his grandpa, just remember, moving back to Vegas with you is something I'll always remember.
So this is 2015. I remember being in my fall semester of my sophomore year at Cal-Lou. This was probably the time that I went through my biggest struggle of life thus far. As you remember, I wasn't starting anymore. I got that spot taken away for no real reason. I was going through a breakup at the time, and I had just crashed the Denali into a dumpster. Yes, I don't want to talk about it. But at that time, I remember I was really stressed. There was a lot going on, and I remember you and I having a conversation, and you helped me navigate that first time in my life and how to push through adversity and challenges and how it's gonna make me stronger in the future. And I feel like from that point, Dad, I used that lesson and applied it to grad school, when I was early on in my years as an early professional, even now as a small business owner. I still remember that talk that we had, so thank you for teaching me the lesson during those hard times.
When you helped me move into my first apartment with all of my friends and then took us all to Rosati's Pizza for some pizza and wings after a hard day's work. I really was excited to get my own foot in my own apartment and build a life for myself, but I couldn't have done it without you and you guiding me throughout the way, even when I had that really embarrassing furniture at the beginning. Oops. Thanks, Dad.
All those times we spent with our extended family, the Krylings and the Elwerts. I have so many memories during those times, but specifically I remember us going up to Bryan Head, doing all of the quadding, but I specifically remember on the New Year's Eve trip, we were all hanging out, partying, and the power went out and all of us got scared, but it was just really fun times that we all got to have together.
And I remember you taking Cameron and I to laser tag. You also had him over. We would play DDR for hours. So thanks for giving me that childhood friend to geek out over all those nerdy things I loved.
Sofzilla on senior night. Everyone remembers this. You brought not only your big old flag that took up a whole bleacher that said Cruise 23, but you also brought Sofzilla, which was a whole 10 by 10 caricature of me with the ball, moving my hands up and down. You always go all out, Dad, but this was my last basketball game that you got to watch, so thank you for being my biggest fan and supporter. I will always remember that night in the Sofzilla that Jeff had to ride home with in the Avalon all the way back to Vegas.
All of the memories going to Kowloon, back and forth in the rental cars. But some of my favorites are actually when we brought Jeff and he sat in the back with Sofzilla the entire time. Dad, I know this was one of your favorite trips because of the senior night, but it was mine because I really saw you start to accept Jeff as the man that I was going to marry, and you brought him into one of the other most important parts of my life, supporting Sophie in her basketball career.
One of our trips to Six Flags, I remember we specifically went on Goliath like 3 times in a row, but before that we got the Italian ice, and by the time I got done with Goliath on that 3rd drop, I was like sick to my stomach, but it was so fun riding that ride with you.
And speaking of Six Flags, that was also the trip where we brought Cameron Elwert with us, and I have this vivid memory of you giving him so much crap for smelling somebody else's socks at the beach just so he could figure out if they were his or not. I mean, who does that, right?
It's October of 2017. I had just moved home with you. I'm now in PT school. We're getting to live together, and I made the best decision of my life, getting Gizmo. I cherish those years, Dad. You helped me raise Gizmo, whether it was watching him do all his crazy jumps or feeding him Alaskan halibut, which he does not eat anymore because that's out of my budget. But I just love that you got to be there in those early years, and I got to spend those 3 years with you, living at home with you and Gizmo. Thank you for being the best papa he could ever ask for.
You gave me my first career salary negotiation advice. Dad, I was so nervous hearing that Target was going to be calling me back with an offer to be an executive team leader. I had no management experience, no retail experience, so I didn't know how to approach this conversation. But you sat me down, you walked me through it, and at the end of the day, I walked up with a much better package than I could have ever imagined at that time of my life. So thanks for the kickstart.
Being your date to all the galas. There's a year span, Dad, where I was living at home and you were invited to all these galas, whether it was the Latin Chamber or some others, but I really, really enjoyed our times when I was your date. It was a little weird when people thought I was your actual date, but we confirmed that I was your daughter. But I had a lot of fun getting to meet all your colleagues and peers, and most importantly, us dressing up and getting to dance together on the dance floor.
Driving to California to pick up your furry new kids, Simba and Nala. This was an awesome trip because I was so happy to hear how excited you were to finally get some more cats after our childhood pets had passed away all those years ago. You deserve to have those furry, friendly companions at home, and I know that they're the luckiest cats alive because of how you've spoiled them since literally day one on the car ride home.
UNLV PT School Graduation Day, COVID 2020. I know we were all stressed out during this time that I didn't get to go to Thomas and Mack and do the official graduation with my fancy puffy hat from my doctorate, but honestly, Dad, the house drive-by graduation was the best thing I could have ever asked for. You invited all of my friends and family from my whole life, and 40 people showed up on Avenida Familia, waving their air horns and their confetti out of their cars. We got to pop champagne. It was so special. Thank you so much for putting this together. I will cherish this memory for the rest of my life.
Dropping your kids off at college. Dad, I remember vividly you coming up to Reno with Mom and Sophie to help move me into my new dorm and get me started in college. While I may not have shown it at the time, it was definitely hard for me to say goodbye, but I gotta say, it felt really good to have my family see me off, and I felt ready for what was about to happen.
And then fast forward to a couple years later, now you, Mom, and Sam were dropping me off at college, and you officially became an empty nester. I honestly thought you were gonna lose it, but you kept your cool together, and it was Sam who lost it. I remember him bawling his eyes out right outside South Hall when he was hugging me goodbye.
When you walked me down the aisle at my wedding. Now, yes, it was COVID, and yes, we had to get creative with it all, but I love that we got that special memory of you walking me down the aisle in your very customized Disney-style jersey that said, Papa Sauce. I thought it was appropriate as it really just matched the times, and that name really does embody who you are to me and my husband, Jeff. So thanks for walking me down the aisle, and also thanks for embracing Jeff as your son-in-law that day. Spending time together visiting Sophie in Kowloon between 2013 and 2017? For me, I remember those car rides with you, you picking me up at the airport when I'd have to fly in to meet you to drive with her. We just talked about everything and anything. We would stay at Kareem's house, eat really bomb Peruvian food, and even share some tequila or pisco through the late hours of the night. That was some really good time.
And my favorite part of that, Dad, was that not only you were there, but again, Sam was there, and you guys got to both support me, whether it was Sam bringing the posters with the So Fresh or you having the flag. It was just so nice having both of you in the front row supporting me at all those games, getting to hang out with all my friends after, you guys making it to the bars with us. Yeah, I really cherish all of those memories that the three of us got to share together. Leaving my first job. 2023, and I decided that I was gonna go off my own, become an entrepreneur, and start a small business and join PPP. It was a hard time, as you remember, with Scott. We weren't really seeing eye to eye. There was some chaos going on, so I remember you being there for me, Dad, during that time. I was really stressed. It was very emotional, so thank you for being there for me and giving me some great professional advice. I will always remember that, and that really helped me in the future, and I now still use that conversation to this day to get through hard times during the business.
Joining the T4 Table Tennis Club with you as my mentor and coach. That was about 1.5 years ago. I started, I could barely keep the ball on the table, and I was really embarrassed every time I came to play. But you stuck it out with me, and now all of you better watch your back because the days are coming where you won't be able to get any points on me. But I'm a proud member of the T4 Club, and I'm ready to represent at my next tournament.
Our cruise family dinners that started officially once Sam moved back home from college, and then they got even better once I was back home. But yeah, I just really have cherished those memories when we all got to get back together, even though Sam and I were in our young adult years or still finishing college. I specifically remember a couple of the dinners at Sam's first apartment, which I'll let him get into a little bit more.
Yeah, other than eating on those fold-out camping tables and chairs that I had for the first year in my apartment, my favorite memory was actually making homemade sushi with you guys. We bought all the ingredients, we got these special cool tools and sharp knives. I ended up slicing my finger once or twice, but that sushi was the most rewarding and best tasting I could have ever had because I made it with you guys.
becoming your physical therapist. I hope all the years of investment paid off, Dad. I've gotten to rehab youth now through 2 injuries, your IT band and your tennis elbow, more importantly. It's been such a pleasure to use my skill set that I have as a clinician to help you get back to what you love to do, which is table tennis. So thank you for trusting me and getting through the needles and the shockwave. I know it was painful, but I'm really proud to see that you're still doing your exercises and it allows you to play the sport that you love. In 2021, Sam and Jeff officially gave us the great news that they were buying their house and building it. So at Cannington Cliffs, me and you and Sam went over there and he got a piece of wood for us to all sign so that we could have that wood be placed in his house so that we could be a part of that forever.
You coming to watch me at my first table tennis tournament with Aristocrat at the Corporate Challenge event. Now I'm enrolled this year as the #1 player, and I'm also going to be participating in the Nationals Table Tennis Tournament here in Las Vegas, and it's all because of all the prep and hard work we've put in together. So thanks for getting me to this point, and I can't wait for you to come keep cheering me on at my tournaments. This time, your son's gonna be the one bringing home trophies. Sorry, Soph.
Now that we're adults, we get to host all of the family events. So we're happy that we can kind of take that from you, Dad, and take that off your plate. I love that you can just come over to my house and just sit back and relax and enjoy.
You really are a great guest. You try every one of the foods, have every one of the cocktails that we prepare, so I love hosting you, Dad. You're arguably a better guest than Sophie is a host. But don't worry, I do enjoy bailing her out with my cooking, my cocktail recipes, and all of my fancy serverware.
At least I have the bigger Christmas tree. Becoming an entrepreneur. Dad, it's been so special to go from the first conversation I had when I told you I was going to join PPP in 2023 to now in 2026. You've seen the team go from 4 all the way to 12. You've helped us navigate from hiring people to firing people. You've helped us with the Employee NV grant. So it's just been really special to show you how PPP has grown over the years, and just know that you inspire me to be doing what I'm doing right now and becoming a better leader and a provider here in the Southern Nevada workforce. So thank you for being the inspiration all of these years, and I hope I can continue to make you proud.
Attending your Workforce Connections open house for the family event to unveil the new office space. Dad, I could see it in your face. You were glowing for months leading up to this reveal, and during the event, you could just tell how proud you were of you, your team, and I'll tell you, your kids were 10 times as proud of you for getting that business to where it is. You've really earned it, and I hope the entire city is taking note.
Yes, Dad, that night was so special when we got to see all of your 18 months of hard work come to light. It was so amazing watching you and your team just be so proud of the space, and you inspired me as a business owner to one day create a workplace like that for PPP. Maybe with a smaller budget, but you did inspire me, Dad, and I'm so proud of you, and it's so awesome that you get to work in a place that you have created, that everyone can enjoy, feel valued, and love to come to work every day. Hey, Dad. We hope you enjoyed going down memory lane with us and reliving some of our favorite memories with you as our dad.
We're the luckiest kids in the world to have you as our dad, and we hope this gift reinforces just how much we love you. So thanks for all you do. Happy 60th birthday, Dad.
We love you.